Do you remember Gullah Gullah Island? It was a Nick Jr. show that ran for 4 seasons from 1994 to 98. It starred Ron and Natalie Baise as Ron and Natalie Alston, parents of James, played by James Edward Coleman II, and Vanessa, played by Vanessa Baden, who was also Kyra on Kenan and Kel. And then, of course, there's Binyah Binyah Polliwog. The family and the show taught about life and decision-making, often aided by songs. The show takes place on the fictional Gullah Gullah Island, inspired by Ron Daze's home of St. Helena Island, South Carolina, and the Gullah culture there. The show was widely praised both from the view of children's programming and African American programming. During its time, it was the highest rated Nick Jr. preschool show, averaging over 750,000 viewers an episode. And even as somebody who was born less than 2 months after it premiered, I noticed a sense of quality and polish to it that I probably didn't have the words to say. The show was actually shot on the same interior and exterior set as Clarissa Explains It All, which, by the way, ended the same month that Gullah Gullah Island premiered. Probably not a coincidence. Now, just like every other show in this series, this was a very notable show for me in my childhood. It was one of my favorites, it was one of my parents' favorites. I had books and stuff, it was a thing. Binyah Binyah was very influential in my childhood. Every time I would see a tadpole, I would think of him. And really, I would look for one that looked mostly like a frog, but had a tail still, like he did. Maybe one that was so bright yellow. Assuming he's yellow because I'm a little colorblind and I get stuff wrong. Seeing Vanessa Baden on both this and Kenan and Kel at the same time probably helped me in developing my suspension of disbelief and understanding that actors act. Even kids on a kids show where on one of the shows they are using their real first name. And it was definitely cool to see people who looked a little more like me. Little brown boy like James and Little Bear. And there's a car alarm going off outside, so I'll just end the video now. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it. Hit the notification bell after you subscribe to let your speeder sense tingle when I upload. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram for updates for, times when I don't upload sometimes. And Patreon and Teespring are in the description. I'll hopefully see you next week with some more energy.